So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our off-season rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Utah Jazz. This is a Jazz team that wrapped up the 2024 regular season with a record of 31-51. Now, obviously, this team was not very competitive throughout the course of the season, but I really do like a lot of the young pieces they're putting together. And on top of that, Danny Ainge has kind of already come out and publicly say that this offseason they're going to kind of swing for the fences, see if they can maybe make a big trade, a big free agent signing, whatever it may be. But on top of that young core, with that big move, I think the future is very, very bright here in Utah. I'm super excited about this one here today. Of course, we are going to be able to do so many more of these as more and more teams do get eliminated. Of course, I do want to hear from you guys, though. Let me know if any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I'm actually recording this here on day one of the play-in. The play-in games haven't happened yet, but, you know, whichever 10 seeds end up getting eliminated, or 9 seeds, whatever it may be, obviously we can get to those rebuilds eventually, and more we'll get into every single team. But been loving this series so far. It seems like you guys have been as well. Let me know any other video ideas down below. Let's get into this one. As we typically do, let's go ahead and talk about the roster of the team we're rebuilding. That is the Utah Jazz today, and as I've already kind of talked about a little bit, I do like this young core quite a bit. So, starting out at the point guard spot, Keyonte George, 20 years old, already basically an 80 overall. Definitely going to be one of the building blocks here for me today. He does develop quite nice that I've seen in the past, and I'd like to hang on to him. He plays well, very well, could be my starting point guard the entire time. Chris Dunn, good defensive option, never really turned out to what many people thought he was going to be. Coming out of Providence, but he's definitely a solid veteran option at the backup point guard spot. Kier Lewis Jr., I think, was a Pelican at one point in time. I don't know if there's a ton of potential there, but maybe we'll see if we can find a way for him to get into the rotation. Shooting guard spot's an interesting one. Colin Sexton was one of the main focal pieces in the deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers for Donovan Mitchell. For me, I don't mind Colin Sexton. I think he's a fine player. Is he a number 2 on a championship team? I don't know if that's quite the case, but that 84 overall is definitely nice. I'm certainly not going to give up him in that contract for nothing. So I do like having Colin Sexton here. Jordan Clarkson, veteran player, former 6th man of the year, now is 32 years old, so I'm a little bit nervous on that front, as I'm sure many of you are privy to. This game and its regression bullshit hits very, very quickly. So definitely going to keep my eye on Clarkson, but overall a very solid player. Taylor Horton-Tucker, who was once upon a time an untouchable player for the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know what I'm going to do with THT. He's kind of the odd man out right now. Maybe we find a spot for him at some point, but no promises either way. Small forward spot. Lauri Markkanen definitely could be one of the conversation pieces of the offseason. Many people thought he could be a good addition for some team at the deadline this past season. They decided to hang on to him. Now, he does have one more year left on his contract, but there's going to have to be a big decision-making process at some point, whether or not, Danny Ainge, the entire Jazz front office, think he can maybe be the face of the franchise moving forward, which I don't know. I don't know if he's a very good player. I don't know if he's quite that, though. So definitely going to be an interesting offseason with Lauri Markkanen, but he's a very good player. Bryce Sensabaugh is also somebody I'd like to develop, get some more minutes, eventually have him be a maybe significant contributor in this rotation. Power forward spot for me is a very interesting one. Taylor Hendricks, what was he, 7th overall pick, 9th overall pick in last year's draft. Good to see him again developing a little bit, getting more and more minutes. Definitely something I do want to keep an eye on because I do want to see how he ends up developing, but will certainly be a rotation piece, at least next season at a minimum, and I expect more, honestly. Darius Bazley and then Lucas Samanic are probably not going to turn out to be a lot for us here today, but they are both still relatively young. The overalls aren't great, and it looks like they are both entering free agency. And then the center spot for me is an interesting one. John Collins, his first season in Utah. John Collins is as crazy as it sounds for somebody who's 26. He's not really the player he once was in Atlanta. I don't know how much of his play now versus, way back when is just him being a Trae Young merchant, because obviously big men tend to play well with Trae Young. So I don't know what I'm going to do with John Collins. I don't necessarily love him as like one of the foundation pieces of a championship team, but he's also a pretty decent player. Again, not just going to give him up for nothing. I like Walker Kessler a decent amount. Solid defensive center, only 22 years old. My plan is to probably start him here today and hope that development goes well. I think the Jazz actually had him come off the bench a decent amount this season. I don't hold me to that, but he's here, and I want to see that overall go up. Omer Yurtseven, former Miami Heat, I believe, and then Kenny Lofton Jr., who feels like every single year at the end of the season just puts up insane numbers. So Kenny Lofton's going to be an interesting one here for me today. So, I like the young core. It's not as strong as some of the other teams' young cores. Say look at the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Orlando Magic or Houston Rockets or just countless other teams, but really good foundation here in place. Really, Iggy's retiring. The man's been hosting a podcast for quite some time now. All right, staff retirements, not letting Greg Popovich retire. Maybe will be his last season, and hopefully it's a good one for him. Draft lottery, this is going to be a big moment for us. I don't know exactly what the protections are on that. I will double check before any sort of draft mishap, whatever the hell the situation is. So let's just see. Our draft pick is... Oh, it's at number 4. Okay, I wasn't even looking top 5. But it is at number 4, so definitely nice to see a decent pick there. And then we also have number 27 via the Oklahoma City Thunder. So very excited about the number 4 overall pick. I'm just going to confirm that it's actually supposed to be our pick, along with any future picks. Will Hardy's a fantastic coach. I love what he's done with this team. I think he's going to be a very good coach for a very long time. So he's definitely staying. Let's head up to the draft. Let me confirm all our picks. Then I'll either see you guys in there or with the trade. It's an absolute clusterfuck trying to figure out what's going on with this draft pick. If you have a second, go to Fanspo, look up the Utah Jazz future first-round picks, because there's like 4 teams involved in this entire shit show. Let me just start out by saying this. Utah's first-round pick. Oklahoma City will receive the 2 most favorable of its 2024 first-round pick, Houston's 2024 first-round pick, protected for selections 1 through 4, Clippers' first-round pick, and Utah's 2024 first-round pick, protected for selections 1 through 10. We're going to have our pick. Obviously, it fell 1 through 10, so we're going to get to keep it. I believe it's just going to be some second-round picks instead. I'm going to take my pick back because it says 2025 first, which is next year's at this point. Should also stay with the Jazz. So a lot of bullshit to sort out there. My conclusion on all that is that we have our own first-round pick. So let me just check. Did they give away my first for next year? They did. God bless this game and all their bullshit. All right, I'll get it back at some other point in time, but I'm going to stick at number 4 overall. And from a need perspective, I think, again, we have a lot of nice young pieces on this team. Maybe figuring out something, whether it's a backup power forward, a backup center, whatever it may be, we'll see. So Zachary Rizichet, I'm probably butchering pronunciation. He goes number 1 overall to Detroit. Of course, many people are of the opinion this is a somewhat weak draft class, which definitely a possibility. This is Stephon Castle, not Cassell. I don't know why some of the names are messed up and some of them are not. It drives me effing crazy. But it is what it is. He goes number 2 overall to the Charlotte Hornets. Number 3 overall is going to be Cody Williams out of Colorado, going to join Victor Wembanyama. So hypothetically, if we wanted to, we could take Alexander Sarr here. You know, is that the biggest position of need? Probably not, but a backup center is definitely a possibility for us. But it's also kind of crazy because he potentially could go number 1 overall to not start him. So him, Ron Holland here, Robert Dillingham's here, Jacoby Walter. You know, for me, I don't want to necessarily just go away with everybody's opinion and just believe that this is a, historically weak draft class. Although I don't think it's great, because typically at this point in time, there's at least some guy that you can say, hey, he's guaranteed number 1. And we don't really have that right now. So I am going to take Sarr. It feels like the smart pick just because I believe anyways he could be the best player here. But yeah, a lot of things to sort out. We also do have the 27th overall pick. I'm not going to use a second, really. Nobody wants... Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe I will use a second. And then we're just going to go ahead and use our 27th overall pick as well. I see Tyler Smith, Kyle Filipowski. Dalton Connect sitting here. Could get another shooting guard. Zach Edey still sitting here. I obviously just drafted a center. We have a decent amount of big men. So center's not really our need. I guess Dalton Connect, welcome to Utah. And then seriously, nobody wants... I guess we'll be drafting someone there as well. All right, let's just see. One more pick here. Smith, Rich Chamache, Adem Bana, Babacar Miller. You Kentucky, right? Yeah, Kentucky. I don't really need a center. I'll just go power forward here. Actually, Aaron Bradshaw is listed as a pretty high prospect. You know what? I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him, and then there's a possibility that, both those guys that we just drafted get traded, whatever the situation may be. So we're going to sign all of them. We will now head up to team player options, where Walker Kessler will definitely be coming back. Qualifying Keir Lewis Jr. for nearly $10 million. I'm going to pass on that opportunity. Potter, Jazang, and Preston are all going to not be qualified as well. So we enter a free agency where Keir Lewis Jr. appears to be our only kind of real free agent. I use real in quotations. Does he have an actual? No. This game just gives everybody qualifying offers. That's been a problem forever, right? Have you all noticed that? It's anytime you don't qualify somebody, it still has the qualifying. I know I can just renounce it, but still kind of crazy. All right. Right now, it is time to figure out what we want to do with the rest of this rotation. So Chris Dunn, who was our backup point guard, entering free agency. Obviously, you just saw Keir Lewis Jr. I don't really plan on making like a major trade just because we have 3 years of this rebuild. I'd like to sort out this center situation. Obviously, we just drafted 2, and then we have some depth here certainly. So let's figure out some sort of trade. Nothing major. We're making a trade here with the Dallas Mavericks, and although on paper this might not look like an absolute home run, let me explain to you my thought process. We're sending John Collins out, who's going to be an expiring contract. I've already gone over the fact I'm not very high on John Collins. So we're going to make the trade here, acquire PJ Washington. He's going to be my backup power forward, kind of moving forward, backing up Taylor Hendricks. He's a really good depth piece, obviously really solid player overall. And honestly, there's probably a world out there I'd take him over John Collins in the first place. Kleba, obviously not nearly as important, but we're going to get a nice piece here in PJ Washington, who's on a multi-year contract, more importantly. So very excited about that deal. Obviously going to go ahead and try to find a way to maximize the minutes for Hendricks. Only 20 years old, but I do want the man to play. I want to see him develop. So Kleba just probably going to be shipped out as well. And then my plan right now, I'll send Aaron Bradshaw down to the G League, and then Yurtsvin also going to be traded right now. And then we'll fill out the bench and just in free agency, whatever it may be. And a few other decisions, but like Maxi Kleba, thank you very much, Philadelphia. And then let's go ahead and find a Yurtsvin trade. I don't know if there's going to be anything of, well, man, Celtics swaps. Whatever it may be. Thank you very much, Charlotte Hornets. Stupid is as stupid does. All right. Right now, I want to figure out the backup point guard situation. I very much could bring Chris Dunn back, add a little bit more defense. Him and Keontae George, maybe one offense, one defensive-oriented guy. Jordan Clarkson's also an interesting one because I know that regression is going to come, unfortunately. You know, I don't hate the idea of having Dalton Connect, who honestly was one of the better players in college basketball this season, even if he was a little bit older, as my backup shooting guard behind Sexton. You know, I've kind of fully accepted the fact that it's probably not going to be a great first season here, but that's why we have 3 of them. So I like to get Sensabaugh some run behind Markkanen, and then we're good here. And honestly, I'm just going to start whoever the game tells me to. That's really what I'm going to do between Sarr and Kessler. So you know what? Maybe we'll look at a Clarkson trade. Maybe there's a way for us to acquire some sort of backup point guard. Fully aware he has multiple years on the contract, but I can just tell you, you know, from knowledge of doing this time and time again for years, that unfortunately he does regress quite a bit. So I actually wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Jet Howard. Could just be another young piece we could have, and honestly wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Also could get a guy like TJ McConnell. Don't love the idea of giving up a draft pick even for Dyson Daniels as well. So you know what? Maybe we'll do that. I'm going to go get Bradley Beal. Wow, I can get Jaden McDaniels like that? Is that... I feel like that's too stupid. Now, I know Jaden McDaniels is making a decent amount of money, but passing on an opportunity to do a one-for-one swap with him and Clarkson feels pretty stupid, right? I mean, I know I want to get Sensabaugh some playing time, but I don't know if I can be that dumb. I mean, the man's 23 years old, and he's an all-NBA defensive caliber player, so... You know what? That's just too good to pass up on. I didn't necessarily want a trade like that, but I apologize to Bryce Sensabaugh, who does he have more years? He definitely has more years left on his contract. Just want to make sure he does. So it sucks. He's really not going to get playing time next year, but I'm also not just going to trade him away for nothing. So we'll sign a backup point guard. I'm not going to go out and spend big money on anybody. Well, maybe I will a little bit. You see, I could go after one of the veterans like Cameron Payne. Monte Morris actually isn't a terrible option. Could just bring back Chris Dunn, but you know what? I have a little bit of money to play with. I'm not going to get quickly. Tyus Jones. Yeah, I don't love any of the options, but I guess Tyus Jones. So maybe not quite the defensive caliber player that Chris Dunn was for us, but you know what? I think overall wise, it's a pretty good move to bring him in. Taylor Horton Tucker, I'm just going to let go, and then pretty much same with everything else here, or everybody else here. So that's cool with me, and this team is officially all set. Really deep team, really building up that young core. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 1. Rotation is wrapped up for our first season here in Utah. It's kind of shaken out the way I kind of imagined it would, honestly. Have a pretty decent core. The bench has come together quite beautifully. It's honestly a damn shame that we have so much depth because some guys aren't getting as many minutes as they probably should. But here's how it's going to work. Keontae George, Colin Sexton, Larry Markkanen, Taylor Hendricks, and Walker Kessler is your 1 through 5. Now, I don't know if not playing Alexander Sarr in the starting lineup is necessarily the smartest thing in the world, but it's not like I'm benching Victor Wembanyama. Let's just all accept that fact. I know we took him 4th overall. It's a rare exception of maybe one of the better players in the draft being available at 4, and that's kind of crazy to say, but you get it. Tyus Jones will be my 6th man off the bench. The game suggests he actually starts. I'm not going to listen to it. I fully see that he suggested less minutes than George. The game still wants him to start. Not going to happen. Sarr behind him. You got Jaden McDaniels only getting 15 minutes a night. It's a damn shame. It's just, I got to get my guys the most minutes possible that I think have the highest ceiling. It's just the way it works. PJ Washington here, and then at Dalton Connect rounding out our 10-man rotation. So we also have guys like Skylar Mays, Austin Rivers, but Sensabaugh, more importantly, it's just kind of unfortunate he kind of fell out of the rotation a little bit. Can I send him to the G League? I can't. Well, I can actually sign somebody here. Let me just sign somebody real quick. You know, not going to be anybody that really contribute. Like Jalen. What? Huh? Okay, this is also the thing I hate about 2K. I know there's never a world where a 20-year-old defensive stud center like Jalen Duren would be, a free agent, but if he would ever hypothetically be one, he's not going to sit here and ask for $32 million when the season's about to start. That's just not going to happen. So I was just curious. I don't actually plan on signing him, but I'd rather just sign somebody who's not going to, give me Nerlens Noel for a year, and then I can go ahead and send down Sensabaugh to the G League. Not that it's going to do anything, but maybe he gets some run. Whatever happens, happens. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I will see you guys at the end of year number 1 here in Utah. Year 1 is over. It is another MVP for Nikola Jokic, but more importantly, we finished with a record of 44-38. Now, it's not, a 60-plus win Hall of Fame type season, but 44 wins for this group. I'm pretty impressed by that. Insane numbers all across the board for Jokic, Stephon Castle. I'm not going to go in and change everybody's names. It's completely fucking stupid. Whoever makes these draft classes can't actually get them accurate. Men Thompson, 6th man of the year. Victor Wembanyama is your depoy. James Wiseman, now a Los Angeles Clipper, who was actually also a free agent when I was looking to sign somebody just for a bench role. Devin Booker, clutch player of the year. Mike Malone, head coach of the Denver Nuggets, does take home coach of the year. So I'm assuming 44 wins at a minimum. No, we just straight up made the playoffs. I was going to say I'm assuming it's a play-in, but no, we passed the play-in, have the tiebreaker over the Suns, and we are going to be playing the Dallas Mavericks in round 1. All right, I will take that. Here is a look at the East. Let's get into some standing stuff real quick, see how everything kind of shook out there. Markkanen, Sexton, George, Sarr, Jones, Hendricks, Kessler. Not bad. What is that? 6 guys? That might be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait. That's 7 guys in double digits. That's fucking awesome. Kessler led us in boards, and then assist was Keontae George. So playoffs year 1 wasn't necessarily aiming for that, but it happened, and let's go. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum. Oh, shit, I forgot we traded them John Collins. We did do that. Derek Lively, they somehow have added Nikola Vucevic as well. And Daniel, how many big men do you need? God damn. All right, very good Dallas Mavericks team, probably going to beat us with ease, and that just is what it is. We're down 3-0 right now, and we get swept out of our own building. Unfortunate, but not necessarily the most shocking ending. It is what it is. SGA is your Western Conference Finals MVP. They'll be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Thunder win it all. SGA is your Finals MVP. All right, it is time for offseason number 2. What? What? Huh? Okay. Overriding LeBron's retirement, as I always do the first time. Can't obviously do it again to Popovich, so sad to see, man. 36 years in the NBA. It's just insane. Well, as a head coach, right? 36 years? I don't know. CP3 Hall of Fame, jersey retirements, cool draft lottery. I do have my own draft pick, but more importantly, I think we have somebody else's. Yeah, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves draft pick. Is that a swap? No, that actually is just probably from the Rudy Gobert trade. So let's see if that ends up doing anything. It sits at number 11. I'm surprised the Timberwolves were, I don't want to say bad enough to have a lottery pick, but I kind of am. All right, where is Will Hardy? I want to make sure we retain his services. I'm a pretty big fan of his, and yeah, let's just bring him back on a deal. Okay, up to the draft. We do have the 11th overall pick, which of course is nice. I think now we might as well go ahead and try to kind of strike while the iron's hot, if you will. We have 3 first-round picks, all movable assets. Let's try to upgrade this team. An unfortunate reality has set in that a lot of the guys that I could maybe include in a bigger trade have team player options, and God bless this game because it doesn't let you trade them till after the draft when team player options occurs. You really just got to respect the hell out of this game. We're swapping our 2 later first-round picks with the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 future first-round picks that I will include in a deal. I will draft somebody at number 11 overall and probably just have them in the trade as well. So, yeah, I guess Ian Jackson works for what I'm looking for. Welcome to Utah for now. All right, so at this point in time, yes, we will bring him in. Team player options, everybody coming back here. And now I think is probably the best time where we go out and maybe consider a bigger move. Now, there is a loaded free agency class here. Lauri Markkanen, obviously, at the top of my priority list in terms of retaining his services. But we have $36 million. We have some money. Imagine how funny this would be. Imagine if we just brought back Donovan Mitchell. I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. All right, so for what I'm looking for from a positional standpoint, I'm looking for, I have to upgrade one of my guard spots. Now, I don't know which player it's going to be, whether I move on from Keontae George or just move him to the bench, whether I go ahead and maybe make a trade that includes Colin Sexton. I'm still TBD. I'm up in the air. I also could go the route of maybe just signing a really good guard like Jalen Brunson, like Kyrie Irving, maybe even like Donovan Mitchell. So I will definitely explore those possibilities. If I want to go ahead and get Kyrie, I probably have to clear up at least PJ Washington's contract, because you got to remember, we can't renounce the cap hold on Markkanen. So just something to keep in mind if I want to go that path. So I also would probably have to give up Jaden McDaniels, unfortunately. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but when I do it, you guys will obviously know as well. I decided I want to swing for the fences and try to sign one of the big name free agents. Now, some of them don't have many offers, if not any offers at all, and I think we can honestly land one of them. So, we're going to try to go ahead and clear up some cap space, making a deal with the Thunder, PJ Washington, heading there to Oklahoma City. He's a fine player. Would have loved to have kept him in the rotation. Unfortunately, salary cap is a thing. This is not baseball. So, that is our first trade. Potentially one or two more coming, just because, again, as I mentioned, we have to make sure we're able to retain the services of Lauri Markkanen as well, who, by the way, does not have any offers right now. You can see right there. So let's just see. What kind of money do we have? We have Donovan Mitchell money, hypothetically. I would be an absolute idiot not to throw him an offer. I'm probably going to pass on Tatum. I got him in the Rockets video the other day. Sorry if that's a spoiler. I think LeBron and Jimmy are just a little bit too old. And then I'm going to offer Brunson. I'm going to offer Kyrie, and hopefully one of them accepts, because I only have 3 offers to shell out right now. I mean, could go after some other guys, but no. We're going to go after Brunson, make him a big fat contract offer that is a player option, and then we'll do the same thing to Kyrie, who has, I guess, a real offer from Dallas, but maybe we'll be able to retain his services. Wow, that is a fuck ton of money. How much did Dallas get? Let me just do math. 193 divided by 4, because I want to go past them, but I also don't want to blow them out of the water. That's 48 and a quarter a year. So if I do I don't know. I think if I do I'll do 50, honestly. It's probably not the smartest thing in the world, but I want to make sure I get at least one of these guys. So, moment of truth. Oh my God. Donovan Mitchell is going to be coming back here. Donovan Mitchell is back. Now, I have to make sure I do not renounce the cap hold for Lauri Markkanen. I believe wait, is this with? Oh, so that's with that. Okay. I'm going to have to clear up at least one more big contract. It means Tyus Jones or Jaden McDaniels is probably gone. It's unfortunate, but if I'm bringing in Donovan Mitchell, I'll figure something out at the backup, the backup point guard spot. So hopefully Jones by himself is enough. If he's not, we're going to have to make some really tough decisions. Hopefully somebody's just going to give me, thank you very much, Houston. I'm hoping that is enough. Oh, wait, nope. There and shit. All right. I don't know. The number doesn't update on the fly. I could just move Ian Jackson. It probably clears up enough, but I think I'd rather try to clear up Sensabaugh and Bradshaw before I go that path. So again, I know we're kind of just trading away all the players that either played or didn't for us, but I want to take a big swing and hopefully land Donovan Mitchell. Oh, wait. It just took that. All right. So we're going to wait here. Bringing Donovan Mitchell back is obviously awesome. We're going to hope. Oh, that's Brunson. Let's just make sure that Markkanen does not get any offers right now. That's my number one priority. Now he has 14. All right, including a real one here from the Orlando Magic. Let's just go ahead and max him out. Yeah. Wait, how much did Orlando give him? It's 139 divided by 4. I'm not good at math off the top of my head. 139 divided by 4. It's about $35 million a year. So let's just go ahead and beat that out. We'll offer about 37.5. Player option. We're not going to offer no trade clause. And then, so do not accept, do not renounce. Bring in Donovan Mitchell. We are going to now probably have to overpay a little bit for Markkanen. It's fine by me. Bring him back. I'll see you guys with the next move. How we have any money left is a question that is beyond my realm of knowledge, but we do have enough to bring Aaron Wiggins in on a 2-year mid-level exception, I believe. So he's going to be my new backup power forward. Now, it is time to make some decisions because other than the major moves we just made, we're pretty much all set, and we still have some depth here. So, you know what? I was going to maybe trade to Ian Jackson, but I actually will just hang on to him. He's better than Dalton Connect, so he'll back up Donovan Mitchell. And so Connect, Sensabaugh, I could just hang on to both of them. I think they both have many years, or not many, but at least 1 year left on their deal past this. So, yeah, they both do. I'm almost positive. So, you know what? I guess I'll hang on to both of them, and then maybe next offseason we'll make one more major trade. Also, I moved Sexton to the point guard spot. Sorry, I forgot to say that. But, yeah, I guess I just moved him back there. And he will be playing next to Mitchell, and then George will just move to the bench. So, very exciting kind of second offseason. Obviously, bringing back an old friend here with Donovan Mitchell. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. We had an absolutely fantastic offseason. Obviously went ahead and brought back an old friend, a fan favorite, if you will, in Donovan Mitchell, all the while making other changes to this team that are hopefully going to lead us to a championship. Keontae George actually going to start. I was thinking I was going to start Sexton. Game says to start Keontae George. I'm going to do what the game says. Typically works out better, and I like Keontae George quite a bit. So he'll be my starting point guard. Donovan Mitchell, obviously, at the shooting guard spot. Markkanen, we've retained his services as well. Going to be my starting small forward. Still got Hendricks in the starting 5. I'm not ready to give up on him yet. He had a pretty good season for us last year. If you take a look at his numbers right here, about 10, 2, and 7.5, so or 10.5, so you get it. Not bad all around. 3-point percentage definitely leaves something to be desired. Wow, that's a big drop in terms of 3-point percentage. Wow, that is not good. Same with just field goal. Wow, and more turnover. Wow, that's okay. A little concerning. And then Walker Kessler's still going to be my starting center. Bench unit's going to be Colin Sexton at 6 men. Obviously, still have Alexander Sarr here. Jaden McDaniels getting 25+ million a year, play 15 minutes a night. It's kind of crazy, is what it is. Ian Jackson, who we just drafted, I think 11th overall, and then Aaron Wiggins, our 10th and final man. So unfortunately, Sensabaugh, Connect, not going to get any minutes. It's something we'll figure out in the offseason. I will see you guys at the end of year 2. Last year, we talked about how an absolute dream season would have been a 60+ win campaign. This season, we made that dream become a reality. It's 61-21. What an offseason. What a season. And hopefully a championship run coming up, possibly. Luka Doncic is your MVP. Cooper Flag. What? How the hell is he in Los Angeles? What? That's insane. I just laugh because Cooper Flag is just a Maine prod. He's from Maine, and so probably grew up a Celtics fan. I don't know. Now playing for the Lakers is funny. Nas Reed, 6th man of the year, possibility this year in real life. Wemby is your deep boy once again. Nikola Topic, most improved. He's a 76er. Ja Morant, clutch player of the year. Jason Kidd, really? Can't give it to Will Hardy? Gotta give it to Jason Kidd. Come on. We're the 1 seed, too. I mean, what is this bullshit? 2K always just gives it to the 1 seed. That's some grade A bullshit. All right, well, we were robbed there, which is fine, because hopefully we're not going to be robbed in the postseason. Donovan Mitchell, Larry Marketing, Keontae George, Sexton, Hendricks, Sarr, Jackson, Kessler, McDaniels, and Wiggins. Rebounds per game was Kessler, and assists were led by Mr. Keontae George. Speaking of the Lakers, no more LeBron. They do what? Why are you taking all my New Englanders from me? I know Marcus Smart's not born in New England, but he was a Celtic and is a Celtic at heart. Sorry, Grizzly fans. I love Herb Jones, though. I'm a huge Herb Jones fan. Wow. That's a lot of defense between him and Marcus Smart. All right, man. Tough first-round matchup here, even if there is no LeBron. They're still a very good team. We are up 3-1, and we do end up winning in 5. All right, Western Conference semifinals. A young, talented, up-and-coming Houston Rockets team who are now starting Tari Eason over Jabari Smith Jr. Interesting decision there, but a very good team. A lot of depth. They have our old friend Tyus Jones there as well. Really challenging second round for us here in the Western Conference playoffs. We are 2-2 right now with Houston. Go up 3-2. Game 7 at home. And we win. We win, and we are taking on the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder here in the Western Conference Finals. Case and Wallace, SGA. Oh, my God, they added OG Anunoby. Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. You got Lou Dort now coming off the bench. Other Jalen Williams, PJ Washington. Fuck, I forgot I traded him there. This is an insane challenge. I do not... Really? Like that? That easy? All right, I didn't see that coming. It is us, and wow, we're taking on the Cavs. So Mitchell comes back to Utah after a few seasons in Cleveland, and now he has his old team in the finals. And wow, I mean, I know they're in the finals, but whoever the hell this is, they're probably missing them pretty badly. So I don't want to dismiss this team because it's really good, but obviously they're not nearly as good with Donovan Mitchell. So let's do it. We're up 2-0. We go up 3-0. And is this going to be a clean sweep here in the NBA Finals? I would like nothing more than to see Donovan. How hilarious would that be if he won a ring on there on his former team's court? Back and forth game. Looks like we might not win this one, though. All right. That one does not go our way, so we're heading back to Utah here for what is hopefully going to be a closeout Game 5. I am very much hoping. Back and forth battle here. And can we just hold this lead? I think we'll be good. All right, we'll get a couple shots up. I'll see you guys in there. Under 3.5 minutes to go here until a championship is going to be ours. Obviously, this one is pretty much well out of reach. I'm assuming that it's probably all but over. Mitchell, let's just work a little bit low post inside to Kessler. Just easy slam dunk. Yeah, this one was fun. I mean, I wasn't necessarily... I know we have one more year. I'm just saying in general, I wasn't necessarily expecting the championship this year. We talk about how bad these Jazz uniforms are. Are they changing them this offseason? You know, the only thing worse than these ones is the ones that just say Utah and like Helvetica across the front. It's just an abomination. I don't want to say it's all Nike's fault, but between this and all the bullshit that Nike and Fanatics are doing with the MLB uniforms, I mean, it's a shit show. It's a complete and utter shit show. I know Nike pays way more than Adidas used to for the NBA jersey rights just because they make way more jerseys, so they make their money back. But it's absolutely asinine, the fact that some of these jerseys that are coming out, like who sat down and approved the Utah Jazz current uniforms? The throwback ones, absolutely fucking sick. Other than that, it's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, who sat down and was like, oh yeah, my passion is graphic design. And it was like, you know what? Yeah, this actually looks really good. This is something, really? That's a block? This is something that we should approve on a national scale for, an NBA franchise. Just generational idiot, whoever the hell made that. And whoever the hell approved that generational idiot. My bad. I don't mean to shit on some poor designer who's probably making $10 an hour, but god damn. Do better. Please. I'm not saying the old Jazz jerseys were anything to love or anything. I'm playing like shit right now. Or anything to be super excited about, but like they were definitely better than the garbage that the Jazz have to wear now. And so I'm going on a rant about jerseys in a game that is 20 points though, but still not out of reach. Well, it's probably out of reach. All right, let's just do one more position. I got to score at some point. So Jarrett Allen, actually really good defense there from Sexton. Let's see what we can do here with Mr. Donovan Mitchell. I know I've done nothing but call screens, but I've also kind of been on autopilot mode. Let's just blitz right down at the rack. That's got to be it. Really? No foul? All right, good night. A Year 2 championship is always very fun. It alleviates some of the pressure heading into the final regular season. Donovan Mitchell, absolutely insane numbers all across the board. Comes back to Utah, everybody's savior, and he is your finals MVP. LeBron spent his final season as a Toronto Raptor. LeBronto officially becoming true. Oh my God, Steph retiring as well. Wow, don't typically see that. I'm certainly not going to, well, I mean, I guess I override LeBron's, but you know what? I never really see Steph retire. Let's let Steph retire. All right, JB Bickerstaff, he's that old? I didn't realize he was that old. LeBron, Curry, Westbrook, yeah, all Hall of Fame, definitely. Blake Griffin, probably going to end up a Hall of Fame. Klay Thompson's definitely a Hall of Famer. Blake, yeah, probably will end up, anybody gets into the Basketball Hall of Fame, right? It's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. We are projected 3 top 10 picks. Holy shit. I don't know exactly why or where they all came from, but they're here, and I guess we'll try to find some way to use them. Again, I don't want to say it's a good problem to have, but this is one of the, oh my God, 5 first-round picks. These are one of the situations that I run into in some of these rebuilds, right? I don't want to say I almost do too good of a job, but I just have too many assets heading into a final season where I don't really need them and don't really have a place for them to go. So, I mean, maybe I make some change to this team. What that changes is still up in the air, but I guess I'll find something. I'm offering a bunch of picks to Cleveland. Wow. Okay. Well, that was simple enough. We beat Cleveland in the finals after signing away Donovan Mitchell, and now they just traded me Evan Mobley. I don't really know why. Look, there was absolutely nothing wrong with Taylor Hendricks. He did a perfectly fine job. Obviously, was in this starting 5 on a championship-winning team, but I don't like to keep things the same year over year. And yeah, we just got a really, really good big man in Evan Mobley. So excited about that. I don't need these picks. I'm sorry. I know it's disappointing for those of you who like to watch me draft guys, especially later in the first round. But honestly, I don't need them, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. So we're going to go ahead and move on from those. And yeah, in terms of free agents, Walker Kessler's restricted. I'll just offer him that. And then I'd like to retain Colin Sexton as well. I don't know if I necessarily need to hang on to both Colin Sexton and Keontae George. I probably could move on from one of them, but why not just keep him? Let him keep rolling with the punches. So, who's my backup small? Oh, I traded away Jaden McDaniels. I do need to find myself a new backup small forward, or I could just let Sensabaugh stay. But you know what? I have all these players sitting here. Why don't I just try to find a trade? Let's just see what we can do. I'll throw Dalton Connect and Sensabaugh. That's $4 million. That's $6 million. Probably not a lot. Also, are there any free agents here? David Roddy. Doesn't really get me very excited. I could sign Smart and maybe make an even bigger deal, but I'm not. I feel like I've done enough today to this rebuild. So let's look at players making like, I don't know, $7 million or less. Again, probably not a very long list at this point in time. Let's just see. Jaime Jaquez Jr. would be a welcome addition to this team. We'll do Connect. We'll do Sensabaugh, and you want to shake hands? I have the draft picks. I know that, so I can definitely get this to go through. So take whatever you want. Thank you very much, Miami. I will see you guys at the start of the final regular season. The final regular season here in Utah is about to be underway, and we have put together an absolutely insane team. You know, we started off this rebuild by talking about how much I really just love the young core that Utah has been building. And, you know, we've gone kind of ahead of that young core in some ways, but we've also kind of kept a lot of it intact. So very, very excited about this team. The championship last year was great, and this team has only gotten better. So you would expect another one's on its way. Keontae George, Donovan Mitchell, Lauri Markkanen, new addition here in Evan Mobley, Walker Kessler, just an insane defensive front court. Bench units, Colin Sexton will remain the 6th man. Alexander Sarr is up to an 85 overall, maybe could even be higher if he was in the starting 5, but unfortunately Kessler's been playing pretty well. Jaime Jaquez Jr., new addition here, Ian Jackson. Then I feel so bad for Taylor Hendricks. He went from starting power forward on a championship team to 10 minutes a night, 10th guy in the rotation. Again, it sucks. It's just the way things kind of fell into place. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. I will see you guys at the end of the final regular season. 75-7 sound good to you? Sounds pretty good to me. That's how we wrap up our final regular season here in Utah. We are hopefully well on our way to a second straight championship. by far our best season yet. It's also our best team yet. Luka Doncic, another MVP. Cameron Boozer, son of Carlos Boozer, I believe. God, I am getting old. He's your rookie of the year. Azar Thompson, sixth man. Wemby's your depoy. Carter Bryant, most improved. Jamal Murray is now a Warrior, replacing Steph Curry after he retired last offseason. He's your clutch player of the year. Will Hardy definitely, finally gets the recognition he deserves. All right, we are going to check out the standings. 24 games ahead of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's insane to see. By far the best record in basketball. Let's dive into the standings a little bit here. Mitchell, Markkanen, George, Mobley, Sarr, Sexton, Kessler, Ian Jackson, Jaime Jaquez, Taylor Hendricks. Jesus Christ, is that 7 guys, double digits again? That's insane. Rebounds, Mr. Mobley, and assists is Keontae George. Round 1, who are we playing? Doesn't really matter. Now, Denver is good. There's a strong argument. They have the best player in the series, and I don't really think anybody's going to deny that, but we are just far and away the better team. I suspect it'll be a pretty easy first round. Okay. Moving on to the Dallas Mavericks. I think now 2-time MVP winner Luka Doncic. Pretty good surrounding core. No longer has Kyrie Irving. He does have a pedophile, though, but a pretty decent team nonetheless. Here we go in round 2. We win game 1, win game 2, win game 3, and that is a clean sweep once again. Thunder, definitely going to probably, well, maybe not our biggest challenge. I don't know. I think this is probably the 3rd straight series the team has the better player, but we're just way better as a group. We finally do lose a game, and now we are in the NBA Finals. Taking on, what the fuck? Okay. Really? Now, what is this? Also, timeout. You're going to sit here and tell me that Bronny, is there a rule for how many games you have to play the year prior to winning Most Improved? I know there is one for the year you win it, but how would this not be Most Improved, right? I don't know. Maybe there's a rule. Also, no disrespect to the great Bronny James, and maybe he'll be a contributor to an NBA team one day, but I mean, he's putting up his daddy's stat lines right now. That's just probably not going to happen. I'm not trying to hate or anything. I'm just saying that's crazy. Whoever obviously made the draft class is a big Bronny fan. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I don't really see that as a possibility for Bronny in the league. This is an interesting New York team, but thanks for coming out. All right, Donovan Mitchell, another Finals MVP, and what a way to cap off what was a very, very fun Utah Jazz rebuild. My only complaint would be the goddamn uniforms, and hopefully somebody changes that very soon, hopefully for 2K25. Yeah, man, that was fun. That's all I really got to say. This was a blast. Obviously, as I opened the video by talking about, we've officially done every team that was eliminated before the play-in now. I kind of tried to intentionally line it up that way because as I'm recording this, the first round of the play-ins tonight, it's the Western Conference. Tomorrow, you're going to see this video. Well, today, you understand my point. And then we'll, do whatever team's eliminated between the Warriors and the Kings. And then after that, we'll do whatever one is eliminated between the Hawks and the Bulls. You get the point. We're slowly going to build this up. And along with any other video ideas you guys want to see, let me know down below in the comment section. That's it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.